Good evening. We're getting closer tonight to Tuesday's debt ceiling deadline, but apparently no closer to a deal to avoid America's first ever debt default. House Speaker John Boehner has finally pushed through a bill to avoid the debt default. The vote came after 2 days of changes to the plan and intense talks with fellow Republicans. But Senate Democrats say the plan will die when it reaches their chamber. President Obama says now is the time for compromise, and he's urging citizens to call for that compromise.
To all the American people, keep it up. If you want to see a bipartisan compromise, a bill that can pass both houses of Congress and that I can sign, let your members of Congress know. Make a phone call, send an email, tweet. Keep the pressure on Washington.
Congressman Charles Boustany's Lake Charles office has received plenty of calls on the deficit debate. We're told the call volume is about twice the normal amount.
Well, primarily people are concerned about the default, and so we get a lot of calls about that. And the wide majority of the people are saying we understand that the spending cuts issue, and they're very, very supportive of that. And I'd say, I don't know, a large ratio of people that understand that we're in serious trouble, and the way out is to get our house in order.
Locally, many people get upset when they hear talk of Social Security checks not going out or being delayed. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt has been talking to some of our local seniors about that.
Most people are disgusted when they hear that. They feel like just scare tactics and politics, and that there's no way they'd withhold checks upon which seniors and others with fixed incomes depend. And most seniors I talk to expect payday as usual. Here at the Senior Center on 5th Street, the men are playing pool as usual. All here depend on Social Security checks to pay the bills.
If I don't get my checks, I can't pay my bills, nor can I eat, because I depend totally on my Social Security disability.
I can do without one for about 2 months, then I'd have to start crying like all the rest of the people.
And for the most part, they consider it scare tactics when they hear talk that the checks might not come. These men want to see a compromise.
I'm not in the office, so I don't know what kind of solution we can to compromise. The president knows the compromise. Why not work with him?
I don't think they're going to shut down the government. They usually agree at the last minute, these politicians. That's what they're up there for, to argue anyway.
Chateau du Lac is another place where just about everybody depends on a government check.
I think they're trying to scare people, and I think they shouldn't stop the checks, because what about the senior citizen? What about what they will be able to do?
Ameriprise investment advisor Reed Mendelson points out if they don't reach a deal by Tuesday, the government will still have 60% of the money they usually have.
The discretion on how the remaining funds get spent falls on the president. To imagine that he would not pay the principal and interest on our debt, Social Security recipients, and pay for our national security would be just hard to imagine.
But Mendelson says some bills would not get paid.
Certainly they've got contractors, they have employees that won't get paid, and things of that sort.
And Congressman Boustany's field representative in Lake Charles, Joe Hill, also expects Social Security payments to be made as usual.
Now, there's nothing on the books that says that they have to be prioritized. That would be something that the president would have to say, but the congressman is certainly understanding of this issue and is fighting to make sure that the seniors who've paid into this program all of their working lives, they should be receive their checks on time.
So if the debt ceiling isn't raised, some bills and some people probably won't get paid. But most people seem to think Social Security recipients and the most frail in our society will be okay. By the way, you can hear more of our interview with Reed Mendelson on KPLCTV.com.
All right, thanks for